How are we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Football League because fans will be allowed back in selected stadiums this weekend. We're also going to be talking about Aubameyang because he turned down Barcelona to stay at Arsenal. And the last piece of news involves Kolasinac because he could well be on his way back to the Bundesliga.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start was the news that broke yesterday about the Football League and fans allowed back into the stadium this weekend. Selected clubs, but they are going to try and get up to 1,000 spectators back inside the stadiums. Norwich and Middlesbrough are amongst 9 EFL clubs who will be allowed to admit up to 1,000 spectators at games this weekend. The move comes as part of the ongoing return of fans, with the organisation still in discussion with the government about a return for supporters in greater numbers after October the 1st. From the Championship, Norwich's home clash with Preston and Middlesbrough's match versus Bournemouth will all see fans allowed into the ground. Luton were due to host fans for their Championship fixture against Derby, but pulled out, citing a lack of preparation time as the reason. In League One, Charlton versus Doncaster, Blackpool versus Swindon, Shrewsbury versus Northampton, and Hull versus Crewe will all see supporters admitted. Forest Green Rovers versus Bradford City, Carlisle United versus Southend, and Morecambe versus Cambridge United will all host fans in League Two fixtures. So, look, it's very good that they're trying to get this done, and it's very good that they're doing their testing and everything else. But I just find everything completely strange. Now, for all of you that don't live in the UK and are watching this and not sure as to what's going on in this country in relation to COVID, is that the government have recently enforced a new rule where you cannot be in groups of 6 or more again. And this is in restaurants, bars and stuff like that. But you can go to work, schools, all these kind of things, and you can play actual sports in more than groups of 6. Now, I see what they're trying to do because they're trying to say that the reason why there's been a bit of a spike and there's a few problems and the rate is going back up is because of the young people, and they're not listening and they're partying and all these kind of things. But I don't understand how this all works. In one, part, they're saying that we've got to be cautious and careful because COVID could have a second spike. And then in the next, they're trying to sort out spectators going back in stadiums. And I understand that it's a very limited amount. And I understand that, there's not going to be mass groups in terms of what you might have in a pub, for example. I know there'll probably be more people in a football stadium, but I would presume that it's going to be more controlled in a football stadium than what it probably would be on a night out in the middle of London and everyone's partying. Do you get what I mean? So I like the fact that we're trying to get back to some kind of normality, but at the same time, it just feels weird because you got one part telling you to do this and then another part telling you to do that. And it genuinely feels like this has been our life for about the last 7-8 months or so, that you've got one set of people telling you to do one thing, then another telling you to do the opposite. And it's mad. When you think about it, we're in September. Where on earth has 2020 gone? Honestly, where has it gone? All right, we went into lockdown in this country in March. Where the hell has that time gone? I don't remember time going this quick when you were actually living a normal life and were out doing things. It always seemed to drag, but now you're stuck at home and you've got nothing to do, or things get taken away from you and the things that you took for granted are no more. Time seems to just be going rapidly. Mad. But it'd be interesting to see, how this test pans out, how it gets on, how they manage to navigate it and get fans in the stadium and keep them separated and everything else. I'm going to be very interested to see how they do that. And yeah, very, very soon we may well have fans back into the Premier League. So, you know, I know Arsenal are looking at Sheffield United at home as the return game, but a lot of it does depend on the current situation we find ourselves in. And with all due respect to a lot of these Championship and League One, League Two clubs, the capacities and everything else are a lot more easier to manage than what they might well be at the Emirates. If they're talking reduced capacity of a 60,000 seater stadium, they're talking between 10 and 15,000 people. Now, that might not seem a lot, and it won't look a lot, trust me, when you see how big the stadium is. But how are they going to get 10 to 15,000 people in time slots, and what are you going to do? And crazy. I'm glad I'm not sorting it out, that's for sure. But that's what they're going to be doing this weekend, and I will keep an eye on that and see as to how it goes. Next piece of news involves Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, of course, yesterday I was talking about him signing his new contract and everything else, and there has been talk that a couple of clubs made offers for Aubameyang to take him away from Arsenal. Well, it's been reported that one of those clubs that made a very, very firm offer, and they used the words concrete offer, in fact, was Barcelona. Now, we knew that Aubameyang was being linked with Barcelona before we finished even last season. But the news has emerged that Barcelona had in fact contacted Arsenal, Aubameyang, and had put a massive offer on the table. But he's turned them down. Now, one of the other clubs as well that's being mentioned was Inter Milan. Now, we don't know whether anything was concrete in terms of that. But what we do know is that Aubameyang has genuinely turned down Barcelona. And I think that says all you need to know, because Barcelona would have probably offered more money. He would have had a better wage. And I know that's strange when you think how much he's getting at Arsenal, and he's got a huge wage and everything else. But he's obviously looked at it and said, you know what? This is my place. This is where I want to be. And as he said, we are a family. This is his home. And he wants to create a legacy. That is the key word. He wants a legacy. He wants to be able to leave Arsenal whenever that is and his career's finished and be remembered. He wants somewhere that he can go back to and he will always be remembered fondly. Now, do you remember on one of my shows last week when I was talking about Alexis Sanchez? And I was actually speaking about legacy. And when he left Arsenal, he lost his chance of creating a legacy. When Alexis Sanchez finishes his career, whether it be at Inter Milan or back in Chile, wherever it is, where will he be able to look upon and go, there's my legacy. That's a place that I can go back to and I'm a hero. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. He won't be remembered as, you know, one of the main guys at Barcelona. He's not welcome at Arsenal. He's not welcome at Manchester United. He's not going to leave a lasting legacy at Inter Milan. You know, it's as simple as that. What is he going to leave? No legacy, no nothing. Because he took money, greed over legacy. And this is what I was trying to say. Aubameyang wants to be looked at by the fans and the club as a whole in the same way that we look at Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, Tony Adams, Rocky Rocastle, Ian Wright, all these type of people. That's what Aubameyang wants, and I'm all for it. So many more years left, and we will see how many goals he gets this season. He is up and running already, do remember that. Now, last piece of news involves Sead Kolasinac, and he could well be on his way back to the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen in hot pursuit of Kolasinac. And Arsenal are apparently demanding £9.1 million. Now, what you've got to remember is a couple of things, and it's very, very important that you do remember this. Any money we get for Kolasinac, £1, £1 million, £9 million, it's a profit because we signed him for free. So if you look at that, you know, fee of 9.1 million and you think it's not a lot, is it, for a full international, despite the fact that he's not, you know, being good at Arsenal and you would actually let him go. That's a £9 million profit in terms of that. Also, his wages. He is one of the players that is on ridiculous wages. Over £130,000 a week. That is insane. Absolutely insane. More than £8.1 million a year we are spending on Kolasinac. When you look at Kolasinac and what he's done at Arsenal, this is what I talk about, legacies and what you do on the pitch and everything. When it's all said and done, Kolasinac's left and everything else, and you say to anyone, what do you remember Kolasinac most by at Arsenal? They will turn around and say the day that he fought off armed robbers and protected Mesut Ozil. That is exactly what you will remember Kolasinac for. Because that is the major thing he's contributed for with this club. And that's not being disrespectful. It's just the fact that he's not done anything on the pitch. It's as simple as that. So get him off the wage bill. Use that 8.1 million, whatever it is, a year in wages to go on someone else. The £9 million that they would get in a transfer. Use it. Put it on someone that's worthwhile, that can actually do something on the pitch, not off it. It's as simple as that. So we will keep an eye on it. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.